So now, what that means with us is, whatever the transformation is, generally it has to be a real evolved process, above and beyond the norm. We really have to Star Trek and go beyond what any people have gone before. That includes forgiveness, kindness, and all that to the very people that's the biggest troublemakers in the world. They are that. That's what they are. Okay, we know that. Other people, if you see the brothers marching down in Stone Mountain, Georgia, right? It's because they don't have a feel for propaganda and all of that. They don't have a feel for America. They don't have a feel for America because they're part of what we would call the problem. They got them coming in right in Act 2 or 2.5, right? And that's their job, to incite white folks, to justify, to destroy the peaceful, transitional thing that's going on in America. Okay, remember, they're only, I believe they're 30% effective on what they're doing. Only 30% effective. They didn't put all this time, they didn't put all this energy into creating this environment, and they're, I believe, only 30% effective. Why do I say they're 30% effective? Look at America, look at how does the world, can you put a little more chill, does it get, look at America though. Now look at how the world sees America, right? I listened to the news this morning. Oh man, this is like, it's pandemonium. I mean, inside of America, the death rate, they almost at 130,000 people dead.
Right. I saw all these people out, setting up, look at the fireworks and stuff. I was like, what is wrong? They don't get it, man.
Well, now, what do some people and what do white folks overseas think about it?
Right.
2 times as many black people die from this virus. 3 times, 1 is 3.6, people of color, especially African Americans, die. So whoever's doing this, why the hell do they care? We're gonna lose 1, they're gonna lose 3. It's fine with us, right? Who's gonna die? The old niggas that's on, we gotta feed them and everything. They are either on welfare or they're on right. So we're gonna lose them. Good. This is what people are gonna think in their mind. Why would America keep doing this? They can think many things. Some are just gonna think stuff on the surface, but some are gonna think, man, that's a genocide. That's a type of genocide. Yeah. Now, how are people looking at America? They're looking at America. Remember, America the effective, America the efficient, the Americans who won World War II, the Americans who win the space race, the Americans, and then all you see is pandemonium. It's technically pandemonium. And the white folks is making it pandemonium. I mean, the news, they ain't saying like ain't nothing happened. They're saying, my God. Right? The man goes to whatever that place is. Rushmore. Boy, them dictators up there, something. But remember, don't worry about it. See, we have to, this stuff we talk is real. It's real. We done already saw what happens to rebellions and stuff. Physical, 90%, 95% chance. Da-da-da-da-da is gonna happen, right? Okay, it was the French Revolution. They cut off, what's her name, head. Then the poor lady just said, let her eat cake, and they killed her, Marie Antoinette. I mean, they be guillotining, and you know, once they get started, the guillotine, for a while, they have to just take it. They call it the reign of terror in France. Equality, egalitarianism, and all that stuff. Boy, you let them people get loose, and they be, you know, that's the historical process. What we see here is that they're 30% effective on their fitna. Now, that don't mean it's exactly that. But what I mean is all the problem that they wanted to cause, they did. Like I say, the Stone Mountain, they down there marching. You see the Negroes down the Stone Mountain, they 100 or 200 Negroes with weapons. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I knew they. Yeah. They.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. But it's whatever it is, it's immature. The propaganda thing, we're winning that. Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Proud. Don't make, at least we're not losing. Remember, just like what we said about Iraq, another Islamic state, we didn't say we was going to get everything we wanted. We said we're going to get about 65% of what we want from Iraq. That was, I don't know when it was, 2004, right? That's what the article said. That means we didn't make an analysis. We're not going to get an Islamic state like Iran. We're going to 65% and add up what's been going on in Iran. Hey, man, that's about what it is. You know what I mean? That's about what it is. Okay, when we say America has only been 30% effective, that means it created or it developed these demonstrations, it managed them along, and the actors are falling into place. You can see the actors falling into place. Like right now, they're easing back into trying to erase the unity, peace and love stuff, right? And they're tearing down statues and all of that stuff, which don't make any difference. It don't, you know. In fact, like we said earlier, if we want to build black statues, black history, right, then white folks ought to have this thing down in Dixie. In 2 generations, don't nobody know about none of those great battles that they had down there. Don't nobody know about Sherman running all the white folks from Atlanta to the sea, where he destroyed, you know what I mean? That boy just wiped, and don't nobody know anything about that, right? Because there ain't no statues of nobody that resisted, and what the heck? That whole Sherman's march to the sea, that man walked down in the Dixie with his people, and he just, a whole SWAT of white folks, he punished. That's the first war that punished the people. You know what I mean? One of the first wars that punished the people. Instead of just the soldiers, you know what I mean? They burned Atlanta, they bombed Atlanta, they bombed all the cities. They destroyed the people's ability to feed themselves and everything. Okay? Suppose you ain't got none of that. And the one group of white folks are there to help the slaves. I mean, to keep the people slavery. They got some of the slaves that run off and fought against the white. They got all that. Suppose that nobody remembers any of that. I would take a Negro Army officer there. I would take it. We don't want nobody. Well, they actually, in our history, they wrote that out. Remember, it's only been the last 30, 40 years that you really know about the number of blacks 200,000, 170,000 that fought in the Civil War. It's a lot of people, right? The average Negro didn't know hardly nothing about it. They didn't even know that it was black cowboys. And the whole Southern Army the Western Army was buffalo soldiers.
The term cowboy is about little black boys.
The whole show, anybody want to holler about history, Deadwood Dick and all them people, them was all, hey man, all our settlements in Oklahoma, not just Tulsa, all our settlements in Oklahoma, all those black towns down, hey man, look. So the point is that they're trying to rewrite history right now. Not trying to, they're right in the middle of it. They're only 70%, they're only 30% successful. Okay, let's look at it a minute. Why we say that? They got something coming on tonight called America, Our Defining Hours. The great moments in American history. You know how they're going to blow it up. That's the way they want in World War II. And this, that, and the other. And they're going to blow it up. And with this time that they're having right now, they're going to include us in there. Don't you worry. You'll be able to find us this go around. Yes, you will. Yeah, I already saw some of the scenes. Even right now, when I was watching the thing on Washington yesterday, yeah, I watched the whole 3 hours, whatever, 4 hours, something like that. You know, but they always rewriting just a little bit, you know. He's a little more human being, and you know, now they talking about his age, Jim, or whatever it was, his valet. He has a prominent place in history. You ain't never heard of that nigga. George Washington, you ain't never heard of George that had a nigga there. He was there all the time. They just mentioning it now because everybody's jumping up and down. Okay, don't be mad at white folks for being white folks. And don't be mad at niggas for being niggas. That's what they are, right? So remember, we can't get mad at them for being, that's what forgiveness means, forgive people for being who they are and what they are. You know what I mean? Allah gonna take care of them in the long run, but okay. Look at how the world views America right now. They view America as pandemonium. And our prayer about make America look like a fool, hey man, buffoonery and clown is the order of the day. The man said that 99% of the virus is harmless. Did anybody hear that? Just look on that. Did you see it? He just said that. That was the last night or something. I said, no, it's 130,000 people dead. We're reaching real pandemic stuff right now. You know what I mean? Right. Now, this is still the first wave. They messed up. Now remember, this boy, all the numbers they got now are disastrous. It's because of him. You got to go back to work. If you don't go back to work, I can't get reelected. And all of them say that over and over again. That's just clear as it. Okay. The more he do, the more his numbers go down. And he don't stop and say, we got to review this. that boy keep on going. Those are the kind of people that you don't have to worry. What you prayed for, you're going to get. He's going to make sure. And he come out, I was listening to just before I came down here, see, at 12 o'clock, they have all, on C-SPAN radio, they have a review of all, so this was not Face Today, something like, yeah, it probably was Meet the Press or Face Today.
One of those, yeah.
One of those, so. They asked the doctor, they asked him a whole line of questions he would never answer. Then they asked another doctor, they said, Harmon, that's insane. He said, this is one of the most deadly viruses in history. This boy is, and he's saying, he said that 91 said 99.9%. I know that's almost 100. But 99% is pretty serious. You know, 99% harmless. That means if you get this harmless, I mean, 99% harmless means that every 5 years somebody will die from it or something like that, right? Right. Because it's harmless. And if you get it, you just get a sniffle, something like that. Hey, but see, the other thing is, how is the world looking at this? Remember we went through crisis management before? How does Don stand up for crisis management? He gets a double F, right? Can you imagine? He gets a double F because he failed and he added to the problem. In fact, he get a below, what's below F?
F minus. Incomplete. He gets an incomplete.
No,
Right.
he failed, but he got to get way down below that. So anyway, he's below failure.
Yeah, he just got
Because
expelled.
remember now, he had two. He's adding two.
Right.
And you know, that's why you can never underestimate the insanity of the people to put up with certain things. They're putting up with it because he's the president. And he can go say, now any other president that we had, if they'd have said, if he said 100 things, if they would have said a half, not a half like 50%, but I mean, take 1% of that, of what he says, they'd have threw him out. But this boy can say anything and do whatever he wants. That's the guarantee of the dip in America. He's taking it where it can't come back. And that's where we come in. We want to be healers, remember. This period is one of those big periods in history where people that want to play a part in it, the real healing of the world, they got to be big. They can't respond like children and like, you don't like me, I don't like you. You did this to me, right? You got to be mature. I already know who you are. You know what I mean? In fact, probably the best leaders will be some of the victims. The biggest victims. Do you know when I first started thinking of this stuff? 1970 and 1971. I thought of a new world almost like what's now. All the rest of that time, you got to find out how to do it. And you got to become what it'll take to do that. Because in 1970, all I was thinking was, I got all of this stuff, and I'm still a nigga. You know, that's a dilemma. Now, most people will say, well, what I do is just try to get more. I said, just a minute. And then I started thinking, how would the farmers produce, call him Farmer John in those days, how would Farmer John produce in that new world? You know what I mean? How would he, the type of movies, the type of, how would we do in that world? And the first serious thoughts was in 1970, 1971. Because finally I said, well, that's going to be a way off or something. Whatever it was, I left. You know what I mean? And all the stuff that's been going on since then is leading up to this. And the peak of it is Islam. Okay, so let me pick up. Crisis, man, I'll be back over here. So, again, what the people want, the goals are out of date, and most of the stuff that they're doing is diversions. So the people will use up the energy that they have, and they won't ever, see, they know that once you put them to sleep, it takes a lot to wake them up again. So their view is, they have done this so many times, now they know we can rile them up, right? They know that down pat, they know, and they decide what the screen is going to look like, how many acts, And remember, all of this, they got most of their actors already in place. Old Sharpton, them, all them people, they already in place. The speakers, like I said, I heard the Muslim speakers from Islamic Center of Southern California yesterday. Like I say, my ex-wife is playing them on the radio. I don't know whether it's PFW, because if they do it so I'll listen, I'll play like I can't hear it. I'm not hearing it. You know, because that's what they wanted me to hear. She rolls out, and the place she was sitting is abnormal in the house, and it was on there just so I would hear it. And just yesterday, and they, Allahu Akbar, and I'm supposed to be mad and say, they stealing our thunder. They come across, what, we didn't say it, the Muslims are not out, So it's going back up the pipeline, let's bring them out, and to make sure that it heard, one kind of way, we're going to make sure you hear it.